Welcome to this segment of a brief history of the Seventh Adventist education system in the Solomons. 150 years have passed since the establishment of the Seventh Adventist School system in Battle Creek, Michigan, USA, with Elder Harper Bell as the first teacher, who is also regarded as the father of Adventist education. It is of interest to know that 32 years after the founding of the Adventist school system in Battle Creek, Michigan, the Adventist school system reached the shores of the Solomon Islands. Pastor G.F. Jones and his wife, Marion, were the pioneers of the Seventh Adventist Church in the Solomon Islands. Here is an extract of Captain Jones' first impression of the islands as they were entering the country in May 1914. I quote, "A few days' voyage from Australian coast has brought us to the Solomons, a land of savage heathenism and cannibalism, so near to Christian Australia, yet so far from its light. Now we are actually on these heathen shores. Everything looks so bright and refreshing, except the man whom God once created in his own image." What a statement. I'm sure running through the mind of Captain Jones was the question, how will I interpret and share the message of God's love and salvation to these heathen who have been controlled by superstition and fear over the past years? Our pioneers served through extreme conditions and situations. The method of spreading the gospel that we use today were impractical and unusable back in those days. The heathen don't know how to read and write. So through divine guidance and providence, God directed Pastor Jones and his associates, and later his successors, to establish simple institutional learning, how to read and write, and use the natural talent of singing based on biblical principles. The work of medical ministry, which is the writing of the gospel, was also established by these pioneers. The teacher was the spiritual leader who led out in worship every morning and evening. He was a social leader, the counselor. In fact, he was a jack of all trades. Thus, this simple system of learning attracted the pagans and slowly were redirected to God, the God of the universe. Within approximately 25 years, which I call the pioneering period, the Seventh Adventist Church was established its presence in all the main islands of the Solomons, all through the Adventist system of education. The next period is what I call the consolidating period, when the Seventh Adventist Church consolidated its roots in biblical principles through the support of education system. This was the period when the high level of educational institutions like Kukundu Primary School, Betikama Missionary School, and Jones Missionary College were established. The word missionary, established in the minds of the students, developed an important spirit of missionary. Those who graduated from this institution with the missionary spirit consolidated the work of the church in the areas of teaching, evangelism, preaching, pastoral work, and so on. Truly, the Seventh Adventist Church in the Solomon was nurtured at its birth by the Adventist Christian education. It grew, it developed, and cradled in the major of Adventist Christian education up to the point where the Seventh Adventist Church became one of the main churches in the country, and its education system recognized as the best. We're now living during the harvest period. Jesus is coming soon. The blueprint of Christian education sown during the pioneering period and consolidated during the consolidating period should continue to bear fruits in both quantity and quality. The challenge we have today is to maintain the standard of Christian education that has been achieved. We must always remember the divine slogan penned by Ellen G. White, that in our service for our Master, man's extremity is God's opportunity. May God bless you all.